his darkness that lets him do what heroes cannot.
The battle you're meant to fight is upon us. There's no one on this planet that can stop me.
Before a world of heroes and villains, one power ruled it all.
Black Adam. He's been asleep for 5,000 years.
Black Adam.
We're here to negotiate your peaceful surrender.
I'm not peaceful. Nor do I surrender. These powers are not a gift, but a curse. Born out of rage.
You have two choices.
You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my new Black Adam trailer video and talking about Superman coming back to the DCEU. So a lot of you probably saw it in your feeds that Superman is coming back in the Black Adam movie and in the Flash movie, and they're finally actually developing a Man of Steel 2 movie. So I'll explain what's going on. I'll talk about the Superman stuff first, then I'll talk about the new Black Adam footage. Everybody just wants to know what's going on with brand new Superman stuff. If you're brand new to the channel, of course I'll be doing a bunch of videos for Black Adam and for the return of Superman. Hearing about the return of Henry Cavill's Superman just makes me nostalgic for all those comics when I was a little kid. The death and return of Superman. They kind of did a version of that with the Justice League Snyder Cut and him coming back in the black suit like he did in the comics. But the big news you probably saw in your feeds is they did confirm that there was a Henry Cavill Superman post-credit scene in the Black Adam movie, and it was tied to Amanda Waller trying to get everybody to stop Black Adam. In the way that the movie positions him relative to the rest of the DCEU, because obviously the Justice Society is really big during the movie, but you also wonder what's happening with the Justice League at that point. Like, why does Amanda Waller go to the Justice Society first before just going straight to the Justice League because Black Adam is so powerful? And they basically confirmed a lot of my early suspicions just based on Black Adam's comic book arc. Sarah Shahi's Adriana Tomaz character frees him after he's been trapped for 5,000 years by the wizard Shazam. He finds out Kahndaq has been co-opted in present day. It's been taken over by a lot of different forces. Intergang is a big villain during the film, it sounds like. But they're also trying to bring back the demon Sabbac, who you see during the trailer. That's that red character there, who is way worse than Black Adam. And Amanda Waller sensing the threat of Black Adam just because he could go either way. He could go darker, he could actually help them. Tries to pull a classic Suicide Squad move on him, bring him in and help them get rid of Sabbac. And that's where you have all these scenes of Dr. Fate trying to tell him, like, look, this could go one of two ways. You could help destroy the world because you have so much power, or two, you could help us also stop Sabbac from completely destroying the planet. And it sounds like Adriana Tomaz and her son are going to be a big part of that. They actually confirmed that this is her son. Her brother is this character here. And even though it seems like she's really down with him being super dark, like, oh, his darkness lets him do what heroes cannot, there's the other trailer footage where she takes Black Adam to task for trying to teach her son violence. Like, don't teach him to be so hardcore. So it sounds like she and her son become a surrogate for his dead wife and his dead son, and they soften him up a little bit, and he helps them out. But by the end of the film, he basically retakes Kahndaq like he does in the comics and rules over it with an iron fist. But Amanda Waller then basically tells them that Kahndaq is now his prison. Like, do not leave Kahndaq. Stay there, do whatever you want inside your own country. But the minute that you try to conquer other parts of the world, we will send more hardcore people after you. And she's talking about the Justice League and Superman. And Black Adam basically calls her on her bullcrap, like, what are you gonna do to stop me? What could you possibly do? Nobody on this planet is powerful enough to stop me.
There's no one on this planet that can stop me.
And then reportedly, we see Superman show up in that post-credit scene where he's the person who's strong enough on the planet to stop him. And supposedly he has a couple lines in the post-credit scene where he basically just tells him what you expect him to say, like, it's been a while since we've seen someone so powerful on planet Earth that's made us so nervous. We should have a conversation. So it's basically like Superman just coming to talk to Black Adam to find out what he's all about. Reportedly, they are going to use the John Williams Superman theme. Even Zack Snyder said that back during the Man of Steel movie, he wanted to use more of the classic John Williams theme, but the studio was like, no, no, no. Even though Hans Zimmer's Superman music totally slaps, you just can't do a new Superman movie without like a little bit of that classic John Williams theme. It's just so awesome. And reportedly, it's the beginning of Henry Cavill coming back as Superman in a much bigger way, and he'll do it again, like something similar to this, during the Flash movie. I don't know what his scenes during the Flash movie are going to be like. Like, we have a bunch of Ben Affleck's Batman coming back in that, and obviously we have all the Michael Keaton Batman multiverse stuff happening in the movie. It just sounds like they added some Henry Cavill Superman stuff to it as well. Like, this whole deal with Henry Cavill coming back as Superman is relatively recent, I believe, and he and Warner Brothers just worked out whatever their problems were. They got over all that stuff. I don't know if he's also coming back during a cameo during the Aquaman 2 movie or during Shazam 2, but long term, reportedly they are developing Man of Steel 2, and it'll be like a Man of Tomorrow movie, which is basically what everybody thought that it was going to be years and years ago. I did a whole bunch of Man of Steel 2 videos a couple years ago, back when they were still hyping up the Justice League Snyder Cut before that actually come out. Because of all the big company changes, the regime changes at Warner Brothers, reportedly it just took these past couple of years for Henry Cavill and Warner Brothers proper to work out their differences for him actually coming back as Superman. So if you heard reports about them pulling a Shazam movie post-credit scene where like you see his costume but you don't see his face, supposedly they worked out those differences and now it will actually be visible Henry Cavill who will have some dialogue during this movie. Which I think is the best possible scenario. Like, even if they started working on Man of Steel 2 right now, it would take them at least 2.5 years to get that movie out. But in the meantime, there are so many upcoming DC movies that you can put him in that he would work really well in. And I think this just supports the idea that long term, they are going to develop a Black Adam versus the Justice League movie. The Rock had been talking about that for a while, and he just posted that funny Instagram video where he kind of confirmed that Henry Cavill is coming back.
He is the most powerful and unstoppable force on this planet. On this planet.
He plays a bunch of the soundtrack in the background, so I had to cut down the video to him actually just making the Superman reference. So the funny thing about all this Superman coming back, Henry Cavill coming back, is that you really do have to thank The Rock for being the one to make this happen, because he's so powerful relative to his own franchise, his Black Adam character, that he can actually do that at Warner Brothers. Like, look, grease the wheels, let's get rid of all this bureaucracy, work out your deal with Henry Cavill, because I want to do a movie with him. Typically, when it comes to actors coming back as characters, like even Ben Affleck coming back during the Flash movie, a lot of that has to do with what the director wants to do with the characters. And one of Warner Brothers' big things is that they wanted to let the directors do whatever they wanted to do, which is why you had all these issues with films not being totally connected the way that you wanted them to be connected. But on the flip side, that also gave them the power to bring back whoever they wanted to bring back. It sounds like now the big difference with this new regime is that they're just way more heavy on doing more core Superman stuff than the previous regime was. Like, bring back whoever you want to bring back, and yes, we totally will do a bunch of Superman stuff and make a Superman sequel. And it is about time. It's been almost 10 years, but if you remember that original plan for all the movies that Warner Brothers had planned to do when they first announced that Justice League was eventually going to happen, when Zack Snyder was first hired to do Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, originally Batman v Superman was going to be Man of Steel 2. And I think what wound up happening is that the studio kind of freaked and the Man of Steel movie didn't make quite as much money as they wanted to, so they're like, okay, put Batman in Man of Steel 2, and we'll just put Batman in the title of the movie, so it turned from Man of Steel 2 into Batman v Superman. And I think the reason why they didn't just go straight to that after the first Justice League movie is because of obvious reasons, because of the response after it was released in theaters. Thankfully, they worked out all their differences and he is back as Superman. I feel like he could be Superman for like the next 10-15 years if he wants to. Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart basically just shattered the record for the amount of time that an actor has played a particular character. Like, they just announced in the Deadpool 3 teaser video that Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine. Everybody freaked out. I made a bunch of videos about it. It's going to be awesome. So Hugh Jackman will have played that character for over 20 years when he comes back. And also Patrick Stewart, same idea. He came back in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness as a version of Professor X, so he's been playing that character for also over 20 years. So unless Patrick Stewart also comes back as a version of Professor X in Deadpool 3, and he might actually do that, Hugh Jackman will be the record holder in the Marvel Universe, but Michael Keaton will actually be the new record holder when he comes back from his original Batman 1989. When we get more footage about what's going on with Michael Keaton's Batman, I'll also do a bunch of videos about that too. But everybody post all your reactions in the comments below. What do you actually want them to do with Superman before Man of Steel 2? And what do you actually want them to do in Man of Steel 2? There's so many huge Superman characters that they haven't done in the DCEU yet that they could do for his movies. DCEU Brainiac is probably the biggest one. You also have the whole idea that they haven't really done a Superman versus DCEU Lex Luthor movie yet, even though he's been in some of his previous films. My full House of the Dragon Episode 8 video will post next. While you wait for everything, click here for my Deadpool 3 Wolverine trailer video. So happy that he's back. And click here for my House of the Dragon Episode 8 video. I'll update the link as soon as I post that. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.